morning. It is the 9th of October 2025. It is World Sight Day. Very timely, sababu. Today they're saying that it's a global event meant to draw attention to blindness and vision impairment. And how you can celebrate this day is by planting trees and whatnot.
All right.
And you know, I'm telling you this, sababu. I see you have issues there. Okay, we all do. I mean,
with what?
Karibu niku.
Issues with what? Issues with what?
With that.
Talking about planting trees, tomorrow is Mazingira Day. Kwa hivyo watu wapande miti. Panda muti. Ukipata muti, panda. Unapanda aje, unatafuta, unachimba shimo, unapanda mti. Panda mti.
Okay.
77 days to Christmas, exactly 83 days to the end of 2026. This is Morning Cafe. Karibu sana. My name is Freddie.
My name is Ann Odida. Let's take a look at the local dailies now. We start off with the Daily Nation. Ruto Gideon in State House tour.
Did you ever expect this one? JKIA cocaine trail. That's a standard.
Taifa Leo mkubwa mkaidi.
People Daily, the one-term wave and Ruto's growing fear.
All right. The Star Treasury data, state borrowed 6 billion shillings per week in 4 months. 6 billion shillings per week.
In 4 months. 4 months, how many weeks are those? Those are 12 weeks. Times 6. Fanyo hesabu. 96 billion shillings.
Okay.
Business Daily, World Bank pushes for higher VAT and excise duty. Hey, I tell you.
So we'll be back to take a look at the local dailies.
Being a Thursday, we'll be having this sweet gentleman in studio starting at 6:30. Take a look at the headlines. Wilson Sosion, who's a veteran educationist and also a unionist. Dr. Peter Mbai, who's a secretary planning and economic affairs at the DCP. And Zakaria Baraza, who's a political analyst. Coming away at 6:30, do stand by.
All right. Tomorrow is Mazingira Day, Tree Growing Day, and we'll be having this conversation with Henry Kimani, that is manager John Newton Foundation. Atutuambia John Newton Foundation, what is their mandate, what do they stand for? Kama ni masala ya mazingira, they let us know about that. And we'll also be having James Kamau, that is the founder and chairman, the Millennial Environmentalist. Now, we are working with a vision or goal of 15 billion trees by 2032.
Are we still doing that?
We are.
Oh, okay.
2032.
You know, everyone kept quiet about it. Everyone kept quiet about it.
Yeah.
Everyone went mute.
Yeah.
There was a lot of excitement when they said we are going to plant 15 billion trees.
Yeah.
Then what happened to that story? Everyone went mute. So that's a question. Are we still planting 15 billion trees?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Watatuambia, the millennial environmentalist, ama kama tunakuwa too ambitious for that. Tuvuke boda. Daily Monitor, Uganda.
Museveni tells of striking teachers. Kumbuka campaigns zinaendelea lakini Museveni amechoka, amesema nyinyi sasa nyinyi mnasumbua. The striking teachers and their leaders are expected to convene this morning to decide their next course of action 2 days after President Museveni branded them as mercenaries and called their action a betrayal and treason. Upande huu ndo kuna kampeni. Kuna yule mmoja, and you see, this is the one thing I can tell you, the difference between Uganda and Tanzania. That the elections in Uganda are coming up in January, but at least on the front page of this paper, you can see just more than just President Museveni. The other 3 candidates are there. Presidential candidates weigh in on Uganda at 63. As Uganda marks 63 years of independence, several presidential hopefuls reflect on whether the country has achieved the vision of its founding fathers. That story is on page 6 and 7. But at least they have Mugisha Muntu of ANT, Nathan Nandala Mafabi of FDC, and Elton Joseph Mabiziri of CP, just part of the 8 candidates who are running for president in Uganda. At least they've done justice here. Cop faces stiff penalty for slapping shop lady over beer and condom bill. Only in Uganda. This one huwezi pata hii kwa gazeti ya Kenya front page.
We're very serious.
All right, that's the Daily Monitor.
Still in Uganda, the new vision 2026 matters election. Dubai firm to supply ballot papers, and 2 Ugandan companies win tenders. Why others lost? The story has been covered on page 4 and 6 and 7 rather. Museveni calls for tolerance. Once again makes it to the front page of the new vision. Ako hapa na huyu ni Janet Museveni, anakuanga na position pale. Is she the education
CS?
Education CS, yes. In Uganda, candidates pledge to tackle issues on land, unity and minerals. Kama to Daily Monitor, we see Kyagulanyi there and other candidates. That is Mugisha Muntu, who is there, and this other one as well, Nathan Nandala. They pledged to tackle issues on land, unity and minerals. Museveni hails quality chemicals still in Uganda, and Kulejue Independence Day, 80-page special pullout inside the New Vision this
They're marking
morning.
63 years since the independence.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, President Ruto anaweza kuwa huko today.
Anaweza tembea pia.
Anaweza fika huko.
Okay. All right. Tuvuke boda tuingie Tanzania, tuzungumzie masuala ya siasa kidogo. Kumbe siasa bado sasa tulisema ni 20 days.
20
Today being
yes.
9th. So 20 days left to the election day, meaning there are only 18 days left to campaign. Front page here, The Citizen, it is only one candidate whose feature is here, and that's the President Samia Suluhu Hassan. There are 17 actually. Yes, but the others ni kama hawako. Tanzania wanaweka tu mtu mmoja. Samia, my plan to boost Lake Zone's standing. Wale wengine mbona they cannot find space kama vile Uganda wanafanya, wanaweka Museveni ndio lakini wanataja wale wengine. Daily Monitor wanaweka Museveni ndio lakini wanataja wale wengine. Ukienda Tanzania,
Mama tosha.
Mama tosha. Anyway, the big story there on The Citizen, pension funds in Africa eye development kitty. For the first time, pension funds across Africa are seeking to pool their resources to address the continent's development challenges, aiming to reduce dependence on traditional foreign funding sources, according to leaders of the African pension industry. Discussions around NSSF, and the quote here is by Patrick Ayota from Uganda. That's NSSF Uganda Managing Director, kama Kenya too. Other stories, fresh hope for pigeon pea farmers as Tanzania, India discuss agreement. And Tanzania behind Zanzibar power stabilization urges more diaspora investment. So yes, a lot of economy here, but siasa kidogo pale ya nani? Mama.
Tukisalia kule Tanzania, simulizi mauaji ya mgombea ubunge. Polisi ndugu waeleza tukio lilivyotokea, wanane washikiliwa wakituhumiwa kwa mauaji. INEC yasitisha uchaguzi. Kulingana na dada ya marehemu huyu, anasema kwamba tunaomba serikali tusaidie, nikinukuu, ili waliohusika na mauaji ya ndugu yetu wachukuliwe hatua kali kwa kuwa wamekatisha uhai wake angali mdogo na alikuwa akitegemewa na familia. This is a candidate, parliamentary candidate. Oh, okay. Kesi sakata la kutekwa Polepole kunguruma. Habari kamili katika ukurasa wa 3. Polepole has been hitting headlines in Tanzania this morning.
Hata ni mgombea kiti fulani, I think cha ubunge. So kule ndio upate nafasi kwa, kama wewe ni mwanasiasa Tanzania ndio upate nafasi kwenye ukurasa wa mbele kama wewe si Samia Suluhu Hassan, either utekwe nyara, uwawe ama ukuwe na kesi kutini.
Clearly, uchaguzi mkuu Tanzania 2025 bado siku 20 tu. Fred made mention of that. Tundu Lissu kigogo polisi jino kwa jino, kesi ya uhaini. Kesi ya Tundu Lissu inaendelea kule. Na Samia na sekta 4 nyeti kanda ya Ziwa. Chama cha CCM kimeahidi kuendelea kuimarisha sekta 4 muhimu za maendeleo ambazo ni kilimo, afya, elimu na miundombinu, huku kikisisitiza hatua hiyo itaifanya kanda ya Ziwa kuwa kitovu cha biashara nchini Tanzania. Huyu hapa ni mgombea wa rais wa Tanzania katika tiketi cha CCM, na huyu ni alitangaje deputy wake ama huyu
anasemaje huyo? Huyu ni aliyekuwa katibu mkuu wa chama hicho, Daktari Bashiru Ali.
All right. On the top strip, wakazi Msumi bado wasota kusaka maji, ni habari nyingine tu katika ukurasa wa 6 wa gazeti hili.
Siku 20 tu hadi uchaguzi mkuu kule Tanzania.
All right, these are the stories making headlines locally and regionally. Let's take a look at the weather situation now. Kuna mambo tulifanya.
Ni kama mambo ilienda segemnege mahali kidogo, lakini sisi ni nani?
Kiangalia hali ya anga sasa.
Ni kama imetufanyia ile mambo. Tuangalie trafiki basi baadaye, alafu tutakuja hapa kidogo.
We have it.
No. We have it. Technology.
Tuanze kule Lamu. It's 24 degrees this morning. Feels like 27. Highs of 29 degrees. It's a partly cloudy day. And high precipitation in Lamu today, 1.5 millimeters.
All right. From Lamu, we head up north to Garissa. Also very warm at that side of the country. 24 degrees as we speak, feels like 26. It's a partly cloudy day, even warmer than the coastal region. Highs of 34 degrees, and this will continue into the weekend and into next week. A bit of precipitation expected there, 0.8 millimeters in Garissa as well.
All right, weather in Nyeri this morning, it's 13 degrees. It's a cloudy day. Highs of 22 and precipitation in Nyeri today is 5 millimeters, the highest we're seeing so far. Yeah. It's a chilly day in Nyeri.
Nyeri hakunanga at Eldoret pia kuna kuanga tu a bit chilly. It is 12 degrees in Eldoret, clear skies with periodic clouds expected there, a bit of precipitation as well. Highs of 23 degrees. Ni kama tu kule Nyeri, just kidogo tu adjusting. Lakini hiyo 23 will continue into the weekend, only getting warmer as we get into next week. But as far as precipitation is concerned, 1.2 millimeters of rainfall there.
All right, so Nyeri has the highest today. Sasa huku Narok, there's a place, cholera has hit this place hard. This morning it's 13 degrees, feels like 12. It's a partly cloudy day in Narok. Highs of 24 and precipitation here today is nothing at all.
No rain at all.
Transmara
yes, it's Transmara that they have recorded cases of cholera.
Yes. People are dying, in fact, in Transmara. All right, finally, weather in Nairobi today.
All right, it's a bit warmer than Eldoret or Nyeri, 16 degrees as we speak. Mostly cloudy, highs of 25 degrees, which is slightly warmer than what we saw yesterday. This will continue into next week and into the weekend, because we do expect by weekend, kutakuwa 26 degrees, which is very high, even for Nairobi. Mostly cloudy, precipitation here, 2.0 millimeters in Nairobi.
All right, it's 11 minutes past 6 a.m.
Hata traffic itabidi turudi kule nyuma, ndio tuangalie watu wa Google Maps wanatuambia nini hapa Nairobi.
Leo nifanya nini?
Leo ni kama lakini sawa tu teknolojia. Yes, and the map opens exactly to show us the major tributaries into the city center of Nairobi. Outer Ring Road inapanda polepole pale Fedha, Pipeline na Tasia, kidogo tu, nothing out of the ordinary. Hata Jogoo Road ni ile tu Makadara na pale City Stadium. After that, Haile Selassie Avenue kidogo. Thika Road, if we go as far back as Ruiru, ni kama hakuna traffic upande hiyo, ni hapa tu Pangani interchange kama kawaida. Actually, this is typical traffic, nothing out of the ordinary. Hii inaitwaje? Mombasa Road, the expressway. Ile tumesikia huyo jamaa wa radio wako juu. Hadi saa hii bado ni green all the way into the city center and all these other tributaries into town. I think today ni kama watu washaanza holiday tayari. You know, for 3-day weekend, watu wengine ni kama wameongeza leo uende leave, alafu ongeze Monday. Hiyo unakuwa na wiki mzima plus weekend hapo katikati. This is Christmas. All right, that's the traffic situation today.
All right, let's have the quote of the day.
Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken.
Let's do a crossover to Radio 47 now. See you there.
Okay. Watoto mapuganda mataipenda. Lakini pia na miss pia upisi, na miss pia son.
I had to go pick.
Haya, si ndo nawaona hao wanakuja kwa radio. Ni nini bado? Kwani kumekuaje? Kwani kumekuaje? What is the problem?
Niwache kierere na ya watu wa TV.
Watu wa TV bwana sivwe.
Tuliambiwa kuna faces for radio na kuna faces for TV. Sasa tumekuja kujua kama hizi ni faces for radio.
Karibuni.
Asante sana.
Naambiwa watu hata wavae viatu.
Oh my goodness.
Wamejificha tu.
Shube sumuoneshe. Hatubange hata viatu, sisi tumetulia.
Wamevaa tu kaptura huku.
wanakuuliza kwa nini unavaa suti kila siku Fred.
Tumesema leo tufanye crossover.
Alright.
Tulikuwa tunakuja kuanzisha show ya radio leo.
Karibu.
Alafu siku nyingine muje muanzishe show ya TV upande ule mwingine.
Karibuni.
Tuone kama mnaweza, kama mko
Anzisheni.
na faces for TV.
Anzisheni. Show ndio hiyo. Show ni yenu sasa.
Alright.
Take it over.
Na wapi gazeti zetu sasa? We want to take
bado
a look at the
tunafika
local
kwa
daily.
gazeti.
Sasa nini mambo ya TV?
Hatujafika kwa
Sasa
gazeti.
mnatangamana na wananchi wa Kenya.
Alright, wa Kenya. Good morning.
Eh.
Mimi naitwa Fred Ndimuli. Hapa Radio 47 tuko na Mwashumbe na Mwakideo.
Na-
Inaitwa Big Breakfast, Big Boys of Radio.
All right. What is the tagline? Hey.
Unaona?
What is the tagline?
Una sita hapa.
All right, my name is
ndipo,
Anna Odida. Hapa ndipo. That is what I was looking for.
Ukitaka kusoma unasoma hizi hapa sasa.
Unasema
Digital pages
hili ni
zote.
bonge la radio.
Wako na Radio
Bonge la
47
radio.
kwenye
Show
Facebook.
ni yenu, endeleeni.
Radio 47 kwenye Facebook. Radio 47 _ Kenya kwenye X. Radio 47 _ Kenya pia pale YouTube. Na mko kwingi www.radio47.fm. Ndio website unaweza stream pale.
Kwa mpigo.
TikTok Radio 47, Instagram Radio 47 _ Kenya. Pia unaweza piga simu. Namba iko hapa, soma.
Pale Facebook tuko 1 million. You don't know the show is ours today.
Baby.
Hapa WhatsApp unapiga simu live. Tuanze na WhatsApp 0719 73 94 87. Hiyo ni namba yetu ya WhatsApp. Unatutumia hapo message, tutasoma hapa live. Utupigie utuambie uko wapi asubuhi ya leo 0793 047047 na nambari yetu nyingine ni 0783047047.
Chukueni simu
Bonge
sasa.
la radio
Hapa ndipo.
Hapa ndipo.
Chukueni simu sasa, ni wakati pia wa simu. Chukueni simu.
Alright.
Simu pia ni zenu, show ni yenu.
Sasa ungenipatia hiyo, naona uko na kijiscreen. Lakini teknolojia huku tutaweza kweli.
Mimi
Actually so
nakuchukulia simu.
confused.
Nakuchukulia simu. Show ni yenu. Ndio hiyo.
Radio 47, hello.
Halo.
Nazungumza na nani?
Unaongea na huyu ni Balozi Solomon Wanyonyi kutoka Bungoma County.
Solomon kutoka Bungoma County. Habari yako asubuhi?
Tuko salama, tumeamka vyema, tunashukuru Mungu.
Tunashukuru pia.
Songe nalo hadi tamati mtu wangu.
Asante.
Tusonge nalo hadi tamati. Simu nyingine ndio hiyo.
Asante.
All right. Radio 47, habari ya asubuhi. Unatusikiza ukiwa wapi? Hello, Radio 47.
Anashangaa. Halo. Hapa ndipo nani mwenzetu kwa wapi oya?
Kidogo simu yako iko na matatizo. Good morning Radio 47. Hello.
Radio 47.
Vipi?
Nelson Kasawa from Kitale Medetei. Tunawapata loud and clear.
Kwa mpigo zaidi Kitale nasikiliza, twende nalo Radio 47.
Tuko ndani hadi tamati.
Asante ndugu yangu.
Radio 47, hello.
Error.
All right, unatusikiza ukiwa wapi?
Hello, ni Fred Wafula niko Bungoma County.
Habari ya Bungoma?
Bungoma kwema, sijui uko Nairobi.
All right. Hadi tamati.
Kwa mpigo zaidi 104.3 Bungoma inasikiliza na inapendeza sana.
Radio 47, hello.
Hello Radio 47. How are you, Fred Muli and sister who?
Umejuaje nini? Karibu sana. Tunazungumza na nani?
Sister, mpe jina lako sister.
Anna Odida ni jina langu hapa.
Okay, I'm Dr. Bosifu ndi warangi.
Unatusikiza ukiwa wapi?
You know, today I'm speaking in English because you are from TV, okay?
Hata Kiswahili tunajaribu.
Sawa, basi hapa ndipo, karibuni.
Asante sana, hapa ndipo.
Kwa mpigo zaidi.
Sasa tunakuaga tunachangamka kwanza na wao asubuhi katika masimu hapa na pale.
Tunakwenda
katika socials pale vile.
I could get used to this.
Tunakwenda katika socials pale vile kidogo 1 2 hapa na pale. Inakuwa ni tamu tena zaidi. Otherwise,
Tuko salama?
karibuni ndani ya Radio 47 hapa ndipo.
Hapa ndipo.
Asante.
Inakuwa ni tamu tena zaidi. Upande ule vipi? Sasa mmemwacha nani kule bwana?
Kule tunakuja, kuna chacha, wageni washaingia, magazeti yashafunguliwa. Hata sisi tunataka kuingia kwenye mitandao tuangalie watu wanasema nini. So itabidi mtukubalie turudi kule.
Okay.
Kuna kazi inaendelea kule.
Alright.
Kabla HR hajajua kwamba tumehepa studio.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Asanteni sana. Na mnakaribishwa tena by the way.
Asante. Hata nyinyi mnakaribishwa upande ule mwingine.
Tutakuja. Fred Ndimuli na Ann Odida, TV 47. Msikilizaji, washa TV yako pale nyumbani, utaona kipicha pale kinapendeza sana. Wakiwa nasi katika bonge la radio inakuwa tamu sana. Otherwise, hashtag ni Mwashumbe na Mwakideo katika mtandao mtandao wa X. Elegumundu na kucheki uko ndani. Shukran for tuning in this morning. Unasema mamba inazama. Alafu Caroline Mwembe pia nimekucheki uko ndani. Pima kwa Embe na kucheki pale. Alafu mwingine ambaye yuko ndani ya nyumba ni Reverend Victor Amudavi. Yuko ndani ya nyumba na mcheki. Shukran sana for tuning in. Loyal Albert mwenyewe anasema welcome to the amazing show. Fred Ndimoli na Ann Odida na wakaribisha pale, inakuwa tamu tena sana. Dedo Pogba Kipkazi, shabiki Shakiki pia yuko ndani ya nyumba na mcheki pale. Shiko Shiks anasema good morning and happy Friday. Alafu namuona mwingine ambaye yuko ndani JC de Bahrain ama Jesu wa Bahrain anasema yuko ndani ya nyumba na engineer Fedha Mofati pia yuko ndani kwa mpigo tena zaidi.
Saba pale katika mtandao wa SMS pale 20.
All right, and we're back. Let's take a look at the dailies in depth.
That's how I felt.
Yeah.
Like tumeka kwa kitimoto.
Bayo ni kitimoto. Lakini I like the fact that huko unaweza enda na shorts. Na ukose kuvaa viatu.
Period.
Unakuja tu hivyo.
Next time we're taking over fully. Let's start off with the Daily Nation. Ruto and Gideon in State House talks. Strange bed failures. The president and former Baringa senator have had frosty ties. They're saying President Ruto yesterday hosted his political opponent Gideon Moi, a son of the country's second head of state, with whom he has had a long-running rivalry, for talks that signal a thawing of relations. Sources said they discussed the upcoming by-election for the Baringo Senate seat, which the KANU chairman is keen to recapture, with the ruling party desperate to bag it. The two camps, however, gave conflicting accounts of the outcome of the meetings. According to, did you say something?
A few years back, before, when the former president, Daniel Arap Moi, was still alive, and many people were trooping to Kabarak, to the Kabarak home to see the president then, the former president then. And one of those people was William Ruto. He wasn't president. I think he was still deputy president. Akaenda kule, he landed there with a chopper, I think, and he was driving there. Just go back. Just go back. You cannot see this president today. No,
Why?
Just go back. That's how bad their rivalry was.
Oh, wow.
Now you see them talking, and that's why it's actually a big headline. Gideon Moi, William Ruto sitting in one room. A few years back, it was unheard of.
Politics, game of politics.
Politics. There are no permanent friends or enemies in politics. That's the one thing that I say.
All right. The KANU official, one of them, is saying the head of state was of the opinion that he steps down from the Baringo senatorial race for the UDA candidate and consider his candidacy in 2027, but the chairman politely declined. Other quick headlines here. Top judge fights bribery claims. That story is on page 4. That is Justice. It is Isaac Lenaola. Yes. Religion, church preaches wine and drinks it from a new bottle. That is the Catholic Church.
That's a very interesting story. They say the Catholic Church has adopted a new wine, a brand to celebrate Holy Mass. They changed to adoption of a South African brewed wine from October 4th. Wanasema ile ingine mmezoea sana, munaenda munanunua church wine, munakaa nayo nyumbani, hiyo ndo munakunywa. Sasa wamesema wameachana. Now they have their own brand.
Hiyo pia tutatafuta. How state borrowed 95 billion shillings in 4 months is another story, and we'll take a look at it pale Business Daily. Walikuwa nasema we are borrowing around 6 billion per week. Forged DNA test, 10 million shillings loan, and a bitter paternity dispute. Outrageous Treasury PS nubs House team 16 times. That's the Daily Nation.
Kenda rakaraka the Standard, the JKIA cocaine trail. In ile CCTV footage links a cabinet minister's aide to an alleged drug trafficker. The JKIA cocaine storm has burst into the heart of government, fueling fears that Kenya's gateway to the world has been turned into a smuggler's corridor under official watch. That's a big story on pages 6 and 7 of this paper. But a bit of politics here, and this is also very interesting, why Kalonzo is most sought after politician. When you realize that politicians are targeting one of their own, like wanasema Kalonzo amefanya hivi, that means kuna kitu pale. Wanasema once dismissed as indecisive and mocked as a watermelon, Kalonzo Musyoka staged a stunning political comeback. Today, both President William Ruto and the opposition admit that the Wiper leader holds the key to State House 2027. kila mtu anataka Kalonzo. Kitambo ilikuwa huyo ni watermelon, sasa kila mtu anataka Kalonzo.
Taifa Leo, mkubwa mkaidi ni katibu wa Wizara ya Fedha Chris Kipto anakumbwa na presha kali kutoka kwa wabunge kwa kukosa vikao vya kamati ya bunge mara 16 ambapo alitarajiwa kutoa maelezo kuhusu matumizi ya fedha za umma. Taarifa ya kamati ya bunge ni kwamba kikwazo kikubwa ni kuendelea kukosa kufika mbele ya kamati licha ya kualikwa mara kwa mara. Ruto na Moi wakutana katika Ikulu. Habari hiyo tumezungumzia katika gazeti la The Daily Nation. Gen Z wakaa ngumu kule Madagascar, and this is interesting. Rais wa Madagascar Andry Rajoelina ashinikiza kuondoka madarakani, Gen Z wakikataa kushiriki mazungumzo ya kitaifa.
Gen Z wanaleta shida kila mahali na wanataka answers and solutions sahi. Hakuna kungoja.
Ama ni Kenyans to set that pace.
Hey, well, I don't know.
Alright, alenga kuvunja rekodi ya dunia ya kupika kwa muda mrefu zaidi. Habari hiyo katika ukurasa wa 5. Ni mpishi Yusuf Ali Garani na sababu za kanisa Katoliki kubadilisha divai yake. Uholanzi na Croatia pazuri hii leo. Masuala ya spoti, Taifa Leo.
Kutoka Taifa Leo tuende kwenye People Daily. Wanasema the one-term wave and Ruto's growing fear, definitely linked to the kind of things we've been seeing in Africa. Even Rajoelina is facing something similar. The African way, an unmistakable single-term wind of change, is reshaping presidential politics across the continent. Voters are ejecting incumbents faster than ever, signaling fatigue with populist promises that collapse under corruption, economic distress, and rising cost of living. Lakini wameweka picha ya nani ameshika ile kisu alisema isi ya kukata mboga, inaweza kukumaliza. People Daily. Na pale juu, the impact of prolonged lecturer strike on students. That story continues.
The Star Treasury data state borrowed 6 billion shillings per week in 4 months. County borrowing 795.8 million shillings per day and 532.4 million shillings every hour.
Every hour. Hey.
Kama unadhani hakuna pesa ni wewe hauna.
Ni wewe peke yako.
Let me show you the way Matiang'i quotes Natembea. Another story here given prominence on the front page. Report how MPs crippled IEBC almost derailed the 2027 election. That story is on page 7. The Star, fresh, independent and different. Busia organized criminal enterprise, say Senator. It is another story there.
Senators wako Busia this week for Senate Mashinani. Yeah. So a lot of focus on Busia as a county.
All right.
All right, Business Daily. World Bank pushes for higher VAT excise duty. Multilateral lenders propose tax hikes to clear pending bills. Hiyo pending bills ni situ tutalipa. Higher VAT and excise duty. The World Bank has asked Kenya to consider additional consumption taxes like excise duty and value-added tax to clear mounting supply. Unajua watu wa Kenya wafikiria hizi vitu ni watu wengine wanalipa VAT na excise duty. Ni wewe. Hata ukienda kupewa receipt ya supermarket ama ya wapi, ukiangalia kuna VAT umekatwa. So ukisikia VAT inaenda juu, ni wewe, sio mtu mwingine. Na the World Bank has said VAT iende juu, excise iende juu, ndio tuweze kufanya nini? Kulipa pending bills. Kwa hivyo inarudi tu kwako, mfuko ile ya moja tu yako. Industries cut use of cheap power at night. Kwingineko hapa, KRA sets new customs record with 85 billion shilling receipts in September. Windfall tycoon Munga in battle for trans-century shares, and finally investors get 4.3 billion discount in Kenya's Eurobond auction. That's the Business Daily.
All right, those are the stories making headlines locally.
Once again, a reminder that on State of the Nation will be having Wilson Sossion, Dr. Peter Mbai and Zakaria Baraza in a few minutes' time.
All right, tomorrow being Mazingira Day, we'll be having a conversation about Tree Growing Day with Henry Kimani, manager, GOtv Foundation, and James Kamau, founder and chairman, the Millennial Environmentalist. Let's take a look at the caricatures now. And we start off with the Star. Matters registration exercise.
Voter registration pale hata IEBC washalala.
Wamechoka.
Hawa Gen Z wanashughulika, wanapigwa kwa masimu, wengine wako na vileo, hawana shughuli kabisa na kujisajili kama wapiga kura. Wanashangaa ni kazi gani?
The Standard.
The Standard hapa kuna two frames. Hapa juu kuna majamaa wawili wanakaa pia ni mabwenyenye, wana pesa. Anasema state awarded nominees, wale state award nominees wale kama wale wabunge tuliambao ndio wa heroes. Public funds, wengine wako corrupt, au ndio state heroes. Spite award nominees. So for these ones wanapewa public funds and they are given state commendations, but to the real Kenya unapewa tax burden. That is Spite Award, not State Award.
Ah, ndio nafaa kuwa celebrated.
This is our hero. Anabeba hii Kenya hivi.
Yes.
Akilipa tax.
This is the Daily Nation. Just warming up politicians for violence by elections kule. Campaigns zimeanza.
Anapuliza violence. Unajua, this is just fanning the violence fire. So washaanza, wanaongea tu vile wanataka.
Yes.
Elections inakaribia.
Jana kule Kasipul. So?
Watu wanaongea tu vile wanataka.
All right.
Cartoon on the Daily Nation inakaa kama cartoon nyingine niliona jana, politicians wamejaa kila mahali. Hapa kuna group moja wanasema we are the opposition within opposition. Hao ni wale wa Kenya moja, wale vijana wadogo wakina SG wa ODM, Babu Owino wa Mshomba na mwingine ako na sufuria kwa kichwa. Wanasema hao ndio opposition within opposition. Najua sasa kuna malumbano between hao na wale united opposition. Hawaelewani. Hao wanasema wale ni moles wa Kenya Kwanza na wa broad based. Na wale wanasema hata nyinyi mnaongea vibaya. We are the opposition within the opposition. Siasa zinazidi kunoga.
All right. So this was the Daily Nation. I said this is
the People Daily.
People Daily.
Yes.
This is Daily Nation.
Yes.
All right. Do interact with us on our socials, TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube. On X at TV47 Digital. My handle on X is at @Ann_Dida. The hashtag is Morning Cafe, TV47.
See, Nancy Award anasema niko ndani. Matthew Yego tuko pamoja. Ezi Big Funny anasema Changara Teso following. Kea Omushibe wa Buivo anasema Shiakulo Mumias East representative ndani live. Na Scooby Asosh, nyinyi mmeenda kuvuruga radio, ngoja HR wapate. Tulihepa kabla hawajatuona, HR hajafika bado.
Mara moja si mbaya.
Hata akisikia tuambie ni rumors. Hatukuwa huko sisi.
Kama hajatuona.
Lakini pale Radio 47 wanafanya kazi nzuri sana. Big up to the big boys of radio, Mwashumbe na Mwaki.
Bonge la radio.
Bonge la radio. Hapo ndipo.
Stay with us.
Our world is changing every day, and so should we, for the better. Each week, we tackle the big why, the question that should be on everyone's minds. Why isn't this fixed yet? Deforestation, global warming, and the adverse effects of climate change. The future isn't just something that we inherit, it's something that we create. Join us on The Green Fix as we tell the stories of those who refuse to give up. When it comes to fixing the planet, there is no time to waste. Join me, Shiksha Arora, on Thursdays at 9 p.m. on The Green Fix as we look into the big why, you and I.
For comprehensive information and education on your health, Body Garage is here.
Don't allow anyone to pluck out your good tooth as long as it is strong and stable.
Cancer doesn't start today and you get the symptoms tomorrow. By the time you pick it or the time it is manifesting in you, probably will be there about 5 to 10 years.
The eye is the window to the rest of the body.
Don't forget to stay hydrated.
And of course, you at home do take your water.
So the ultimate test is actually you check your urine. Your urine should be clear.
Clear like the water?
Yes. Should be able to see the other side of the urine. If your urine is colored or has changed color, you cannot see the other side, then you have not taken enough water.
Don't forget regular health checkups. Early detection saves lives.
I want the message be, we can prevent cervical cancer. We prevent cervical cancer in several ways. You have young girls and even somebody who's above that age, you can pay at least every 3 years. Somebody should have a pap smear done.
If you are 40, 45, 50, going upwards, once a year, please go see a doctor. Yeah, it's just for normal routine maintenance.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in? I was number 2. What position were you? Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. Kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo.
The clearance of Seth Panyako by the IEBC to contest in next month's Malava by-election on a DAP Kenya ticket has opened yet another fault line within the fragile United Opposition Alliance. DAP Kenya, led by party leader Eugene Wamalwa, is now demanding that former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's DCP party withdraws its candidate Edgar Busiega from the race, or the party prepares to exit the alliance altogether.
Tunatoa onyo kali tukiwa hapa Malava. Kufikia saa 7 saa 8 mchana huu, kama huyo candidate wako utamleta kwa IEBC, sisi tunaenda kutoa uhusiano na wewe na tubakie peke yetu.
Kila wiki wanamwaga pesa hapa, eti wanunue kura zenu, wanunue kiti hiki. Sisi twasema kura hii ni ya kurudisha heshima ya Mluya. Hii kura ya Malava, history repeats itself. Munaona hawa wanaume wachache wako hapa. Hata Ruto alete serikali yote hapa Malava, tutawapiga wapi?
Yaani ukipea hao watu kura, inamaanisha unakubali hiyo mambo yao ya kupunguza pesa ya watoto wa high school na watoto wa primary na waendelee kuipia sisi. Mtakubali hiyo? Atisha ulipe mwaka mzima ndio upate matibabu.
On the ground in Malava, the rivalry between DAP Kenya and DCP is escalating. DCP Deputy Party Leader Cleophas Malala has dismissed DAP Kenya as outsiders, sparking a war of words with Panyako. Panyako has fired back, accusing Malala of open disrespect and vowing that the Malava mini poll will serve as a political lesson to both Malala and his DCP party.
If you are genuine about a united opposition, mukuje musupport candidate wa DCP ambaye ni Edgar Busiega. Lakini wakikataa ni demokrasia yao. Sisi tutakubali wakuje walete mtu yao, wakati ya kampeni wakikuja kuongea msikie tu waswas swaswaswa, ukule pesa yao warudi Trans Nzoia, sisi tutachague mtu wa Kakamega hapa.
DAP Kenya's ultimatum comes amid growing unease within the opposition coalition following signs of internal discord. Former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i recently escaped 2 high-profile opposition tours in Kajiado and Kitui just a week after officially joining the Jubilee Party. Adding to the political confusion, Kakamega Senator Boni Halwale, elected on a UDA ticket, has now publicly broken ranks with his party to endorse Panyako's bid.
Mimi na Mheshimiwa Eugene na wenzetu tuko na kura wa kabras ya huyu Seth Ambusini Panyako. Ndakwa, it is not too late. Usiharibu kiti yako ya MCA, rudi kwa ofisi.
All eyes are now on the upcoming Wiper Party National Delegates Convention, scheduled for this Friday in Nairobi. The big question remains, will all United Opposition Alliance leaders show up, or will further cracks emerge on the national stage? Apul Kamau, TV 47.
With the by-elections fast approaching, it would appear that politics is at fever pitch. Different levels. Mbeere North, a hot contestation there. But Malava, it would appear, will be even hotter. And according to what I'm hearing, it has a potential to cause cracks in the united opposition, just coming from that story. And allow me to welcome my panelists this morning, Dr. Peter Mbaye, who is a Secretary Planning and Economic Affairs at DCP, Zakaria Baraza, who is a political analyst, and Wilson Sosion, veteran educationist and unionist. Good morning, gentlemen. Karibuni sana. Dr. Mbaye, now it's up to you to explain to us what exactly is happening within the united opposition. DCP, DAP, this by-election, especially in Malava, has a potential to crack that unity.
The by-election in Malava and any other by-election has no potential at all to crack the official position. I don't know why people are panicking. First of all, family matters should not make people panic who are not part of the family, right? Those are our cousins. Those are the part of the coalition. I don't know why let people present their papers today. Our candidate is going to present their papers today. The Honorable Busiega. Then let the family issues continue.
But you've had the threats that if at all you insist on fielding a candidate there, that DAP could even consider leaving the united opposition. Do you think it's that bad? Is it that serious?
Thank you. The person making the threat is not a principal. If you had that, it's a person, I think the chairman of DAPK. He is not the principal. The principals have a code of understanding of how they do their own things. And there are some things which cannot be given to second-tier people. So maybe there's some information he doesn't have. If you saw the clip, immediately after he spoke, Eugene Wamalwa spoke. He never alluded to that. He only hit the opponent because we only have one opponent. Okay? We only have one opponent. The mantra is one. Okay? We have one opponent who is we have one understanding of agenda. Ruto must go and one term. So these are the issues about these are the issues going down here. Eugene Wamalwa never spoke about leaving the coalition or any threats to DCP. Withdrew the candidate.
I know you've addressed this before in this forum because the way you handled Mbeere North as a united opposition and what you're doing in Malava is very different. That in Mbeere North, you agreed as a team that you'll field only one candidate, and even DCP had to withdraw its candidate. Why didn't you do the same for Malava? Why this contestation? Is it necessary to have two candidates from two parties that are supposed to be working together?
There are two issues there, Fred. Number one, the issues that were around Mbeere are not the same issues around Malava. First of all, let's agree. So we cannot do this. Look at how we did Magarini, right? Look at how we did Magarini. There was a candidate before from DCP. He withdrew, he resigned. Then we went to somebody who had been promised by UDA, the guy who went to court. And then he was denied a chance in UDA. Then he came to us. And he's our candidate, and we are going to win Magarini. So Malava, they presented the candidate yesterday. We are going to present our own today. Let the campaigns continue. Nobody have said anything. I mean, by the way, who said that our aim is to win as united opposition? So who said that both the DAP candidate and DCP cannot go on and none of them win? It's a win for the united. I'm just saying.
How can they both win?
No. One may win, but from the official position. Who said they can't win? Who said one of them must drop? But number two, the election is not tomorrow. There is how the mechanism is working. Let the candidates continue on the ground. We are doing our own analysis. We are doing our own scientific methods. And there are many things. Elections are not tomorrow. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, let's listen to Zakaria Baraza because I've seen him on the campaign trail in that region of the country. And do you agree with Dr. Mbaye on his assessment of the situation in Malava?
No, I don't agree with him. DCP is being hypocritical. These are what we call double standards. You see, like Western is meant for DAPK, that Luya unity. But you see, when DCP decides to field a candidate, what does it mean? It wants to divide the Luyas. I get that. And we are saying, look, if we are going to sit with DCP, we must do it with a clean heart. We must be honest. Because you cannot tell me the type of standards they are applying in Mount Kenya are different with the way they're applying it. Because what we had agreed was that an opposition, we being in the opposition, we should be able to field one candidate. And now we are, because that's why you see, we didn't even bother fielding a candidate in Mount Kenya. We didn't, because we know we are not strong there, but we are strong in Western Kenya. Why can't they also give us a chance to field a candidate and support us? Are you seeing that? So the way they are behaving, it's not right. And you cannot say that those are the sentiments of an unstarter. That person is the chairman for Kakamega. He's a man in charge of Kakamega. He knows what happens on the ground. And we've been saying, look, if we are going to have a coalition with the other partners, we must do it in good faith. But I think DCP in Kakamega, they're not doing it in good faith. And I can tell you, it's going to have very big ramifications. We know what we are going to do.
Is that threat real? The threat
it's threat real.
Exiting
We as lawyers, we want to have a united front. We want to work as a team, especially in the opposition. But you see, if they are trying to divide us from Kakamega, it was not necessary for them to field a candidate in Kakamega. And I think they've done their own scientific, and they know that man is not that. But the purpose is just to divide us. So a DCP can appear to be loading over each and every region. We are saying, look, DCP, you remain in Mount Kenya. Let's also work in Western Kenya.
Do you understand the rationale of pulling out of the Mbeere North race and not doing so in Malava?
I don't understand, and I've not been able to explain. And you see, this is what is on the ground. They're saying, look, if DCP is being honest, let it also withdraw a candidate in Western Kenya. But you can't tell me when it comes to Mount Kenya, you do differently. But when it comes to Western, you're also doing differently. It can't work. Right. We are in the opposition, and we are also looking at.
But Asosona, I know you, and I've seen you smiling throughout this argument so far. But the question is, how serious and how consequential the by-elections will be? Because you mentioned that, okay, fine, these are just by-elections. They won't really matter in 2027. But if you look at the kind of contestation, even at the party level, and the kind of behind-the-scenes machinations to try and get others to to withdraw their candidature, it means that everyone is taking these by-elections very seriously.
If you look at their spat and their war, it indicates that they were only cemented by a common denominator of raw hate for the person of the president. You see, when political groups are united by mere hate without any serious agenda, obviously you don't expect them to get anywhere if they're already feuding about the forthcoming by-elections. And as I said last time, and I still say today, the by-elections are an opportunity afforded to the people of Kenya in those constituencies and in those wards to exercise their supreme power. And as broad-based, we shall approach the by-elections from a national perspective of uniting the country. We are not interested in breeding hatred in the constituencies and in the wards, but we shall put our case in terms of the agenda of Kenya Kwanza administration, the broad-based government, and the future, the good future of the country, the transformative agenda. That's what we'll be driving. So nothing much is going to change, is
that a fact? Because you can see the front page of the Daily Nation talks about something else, still linked to the by-election, but this time what the president is doing on the other side. And because I want us to actually set the pace for this one, it is part of the stories covered on TV47, the Baringo by-elections and the rivalries therein. And what the president is being said to be doing behind the scenes, it is there on the front page of the Daily Nation, not my words. Allow me to read this. President Ruto yesterday hosted his political opponent Gideon Moi, a son of the country's second head of state. Their rivalry is known, for talks that signaled a thawing of relations. Sources said they discussed the upcoming by-election for the Baringo Senate seat, which the KANU chairman is keen to recapture, with the ruling party desperate to bag it. Two camps, however, gave conflicting accounts. According to the KANU official, the president was suggesting to the former senator to actually withdraw his candidature. If we have that story, let's run it, then I'll come back to you, Bwana Sosio.
Okay.
Right. I am told it's not ready, but the same thing is happening, even
what I say,
with the president.
If you mark my words, we are more interested in uniting the country.
But as Sosio, you started your sentence by saying that the by-elections were an opportunity to give Kenyans
for the people.
Exactly, for the people to decide.
It's an opportunity for
but it would appear all the politicians are taking that decision from the people.
And as broad-based arrangement, we are approaching it still from the lens of the manifesto or of the transformative agenda of the country and uniting the country. And when the president sits with Honorable Gideon Moi, it is part of uniting the country. Who said the president and Gideon cannot sit? They have to sit. Whether you agree or you don't agree, but engage in conversation. You break the ice of people relating. Whereas we can We can hold diametrically opposed political views, but then it is possible and good to reach out and engage. So
is it
what is on the front page is an engagement.
Why
there is an ongoing
Why is a
engagement.
by-election a do or die?
No, there is an ongoing
for the president to go to this.
If this is true, I'm not aware, I've just read it here. If there is an ongoing engagement between the president and Gideon Moi with respect to upcoming Baringo senatorial seat, then it's a good thing.
Okay.
You may never know what if they agree that Gideon proceeds. What if they agree the other way around? It will be an agreement. And it will be an agreement that is founded on unity moving forward. There is nothing wrong
it would
with
appear
thinking
the
unity.
elections are a do or die situation for not just DCP or DAP, but even for UDA as well.
These by-elections are very serious. Actually, whatever happens to the by-elections will have a direct impact on what happens in 2027. That's a fact. I remember when we were in the, with any little by-election, we will do it like it is a mother. Like it is a mother general election. Because it keeps people hope. It shows people that's going to happen from London, from Rorie in Nyandarua. Then we came to Msambweni, all the way to Juja. Then finally Kiamba, and people knew that there's no deficit once we won Kiamba. So it's very important. Two things, quickly. Now, allow me to say this. This, first of all, as an analyst, and then I'll comment as a DCP member. One, I can tell you today seated here, we are going to win Marava. That's number one. As official position. Official opposition, okay. Right? That's number one. You know, all these other things, there's what we call Western politics. Issues between Trans Nzoia, Bungoma, and Kakamega, Busia, Vihiga. That one is known. So there's some issues of, you know, trying to find who is more, you know, because Marara, our DPL, is arguing that DAPK, the party leader is from Bukusu, the deputy party leader, the chairman, all that. Because maybe they had not thought area of expanding beyond Bungoma, Trans Nzoia. And that's a fact. They had not thought. Then ANC exits. Then they think we can expand to Kakamega, Marava, and Kakamega, Vihiga, Busia, and you know the dynamics. So now Marara is coming here saying, who is the chairman, who is the party leader of DCP? He said it from Mount Kenya, Rigathi Gachagua. I'm the deputy party leader of DCP. So he says DCP is closer to Kakamega. That is his argument. I'm just saying what is happening within Western Kenya. Then he's arguing the deputy party leader of DCP is closer to Kakamega because deputy party leader of DCP is from Kakamega. That is his argument. So let that continue. But what I can assure you, talking to where I sit, from the lens of official position, we are going to win Marava. That's the summary. But let not people panic and begin throwing so many words. By the way, I never said the chairman is a junior officer. I only say the chairman of DAK is not a member or is not a principal who sit among the other principals to discuss very senior things up there. Something is happening, we are not going to lose it. It's important to mention that. And there's no hurry. Let's see what happens now. On the issue of Baringo, let me tell you what will happen. We are aware that they met in Dubai when the president was coming from the US with Gideon Moi. We are aware that the president is keen to have Gideon Moi drop from Baringo. Now, what we know from that meeting, let alone what is written in the press, is that Gideon Moi refused to step down. And today he is supposed to present his papers at Cabinet, followed by Lalis. Now, what happens is that, unfortunately, a lot of businesses associated with Gideon Moi have been denied licenses. Others have been, I don't want to say crushed, but really being put on the state ladder. He has been doing some geothermal exploration licenses cancelled and all that. So what the people of Baringo are saying, they want Gideon Moi to vie, and I can tell you, if Moi vies in Baringo, most likely he's going to win that seat. He's going to win that seat, and that is the fear the state has. But for how long can you be calling people to buy them off? Look at what they did with Banisa. That guy was going to win that seat, but he was promised a lot of money and opportunity. It
would appear for the president, he's taking this really seriously.
He knows, because that's what made him president. The win of UDA, any win UDA got
in by-elections.
And in the by-elections, I can tell you because I know. And so even us, because we know.
When he was deputy president.
When he was a deputy president. When he was the leader of opposition, per se. That is what gave him the gravitas, okay? I can tell you that's why even if we didn't shield Musaboni, we supported the guy who won. Even if we didn't win Pep, I mean, there was a part there. The opposition was supporting. He knows. By the way, the president is more of a politician than a governance person. So he knows more. That's an area where he knows. But unfortunately, his system of buying off, the belief of money. I don't know. Look here. The president never won the elections because of money. Fred, he never won because he gave people money. He won because somehow there was the people themselves voted in the president. So how he thinks now he can use money? Money has its limits. Money is very good when you have the people. But you cannot substitute money with love and loyalty. You cannot substitute. Okay. And we are going to see that very soon. I can tell you this. The amount of money flowing in Mbeere, man, the amount of money per hour, the amount of money, especially during daytime and night until midnight, it's too much. But I can tell you what, UD is going to lose. I can tell you that we are going to win Magarini. What happened is that because now ODM is a big brother and is bulldozing a lot, what they did, they went and told the president, drop your candidate for UDA in Magarini. Never mind, he's the one who went to court. Drop him for the favor of ODM. Now we have taken him. And the entire coalition of United Opposition, we are supporting that candidate in Magarini. Okay. Right? So it's a do or die, but unfortunately, his method of using money this time around is going to be like Kipipiri. People are going to take money by the vote.
Do or die, it will mean a lot, not just for the president, but even for the United Opposition. Do you feel that this is a decision time across board?
Yeah, you see, like one thing, I want to correct my brother here, saying, look, DAP is a Bukuzu party. He comes from whatever. He must understand that even the Nani for Kakamega, this DAP, Nani for Salasia, is a DAP MP and he's from Kakamega. Now imagine, ODM has 10 seats in Kakamega, but it has sacrificed to make sure that broad-based government candidate goes through. Why can't DCP do the same? Are you seeing that? Because you cannot say because you want to serve Malala's ego, you are going to fracture the opposition. And we are saying, look, we are working on the unity of the Luyas. We don't care whether you are a Bukusu, we don't care whether you are a Maragori. We are only, because the reason why Luya is divided is, but the system has always used certain analogies to divide Luyas. Now you can see, Khalwale is not a Bukusu. The person who has been fielded in Malava is not a Bukusu. We are talking about Luya unity. And that's why you are saying Khalwale, who is in UDA, is supporting that. Because we want also to have a strong bargaining power. The reason why they are underrating us, because they know we are divided. But I can assure you, in the next 3-4 months, you are going to see a very big change. They are not going to talk about Bukusu. You see, Masini Muriro was a Bukusu, but he was able to unite the entire.
Marara is also a Luya. I mean, come on.
I'm just trying.
They're talking about us. Like, Marara is also a Luya. Look, so what they should have done, Fred.
Look at the way he's talking.
No, it isn't. What they should have done. No, listen. By the way, on a serious note, Fred, sorry. What they should have done, actually, they should, all of us, including my party leader, so to say, for the purpose of this conversation, it doesn't come from Western. So actually, they should have gone somewhere in some hotel along the road and meet all of them, including Marara, advise us what to do. They are from Western. Maybe this by-election will bring together the Luya nation. Or maybe the long-awaited Luya unity. The long-awaited Luya unity.
Let him give me a chance to talk. Why is this so itchy? You see, what I'm saying is this. We as Luyas, we've sat together and we have agreed, look, we must have one leadership. We are going to move in one direction. So that if we're able to put together the 6 or 8 million votes from the Luyas, then because we are the second largest. But look the way we are being told. Like now, UDA, what has it done? It has said now Wetangula is number 3. It has put Musalia number 3. Now, number 3, there are how many people? There are 2 people. How can 2 people be number 3? You remember, if Wetangula was number 3 or Musalia was number 3, after the departure of Gachagua, number 3 should have taken over. But what happened? He was sidelined. So them, you see, the reason why they're selling him, because they know we are divided. Okay. But right now, what we are working on...
The unity of the Western region has always been elusive.
No, we are solving that issue.
Are you certain this time round?
This time we are going to do it. I can assure you, that's why you are seeing us moving around, up and down. We must make sure that in 2027, we have to talk as one voice. I know some people are trying to divide us, but they not be able. But another thing which I want to say, you see, this by-election is Aduna and I. The reason why you are seeing the president talking to Nini, he wants to make sure that UDA still retains that seat in Rift Valley. We are talking about Rift Valley. That's why he's trying to go all the way, because if UDA can lose that seat in Rift Valley, it means people have lost confidence in UDA and Rift Valley. And we're also saying, look, Also, are we asking DCP to support us so that we can also have that seat in Western, so that people can say people have confidence in DAP in Western Kenya. So it's a matter of do and die. But let me tell you, with time, we are going to see in the next 2-3 weeks, we are going to have so many changes that are going to take.
Before I give you, Bwana Sossion, an opportunity to speak, I think it's time for us to take a short break. But when we come back, we continue this discussion. Today, candidates for the different by-election races will be presenting their nomination papers to the IEBC. And already they're disagreeing on who should run and who should withdraw. And the president is also getting very busy trying to get candidates to drop their bids, especially in Baringo. You're watching Morning Cafe. We'll be right back.
October 10th, the Joe Newton Foundation, led by Honorable Joe.
Our world is changing every day, and so should we, for the better. Each week, we tackle the big why, the question that should be on everyone's mind. Why isn't this fixed yet? Deforestation, global warming, and the adverse effects of climate change. The future isn't just something that we inherit, it's something that we create. Join us on The Green Fix as we tell the stories of those who refuse to give up. When it comes to fixing the planet, there is no time to waste. Join me, Shiksha Arora, on Thursdays at 9 p.m. on The Green Fix as we look into the big why, you and I.
For comprehensive information and education on your health, Body Garage is here.
Don't allow anyone to pluck out your good tooth as long as it is strong and stable.
Cancer doesn't start today and you get the symptoms tomorrow. By the time you pick it or the time it is manifesting in you, probably will be there about 5 to 10 years.
The eye is the window to the rest of the body.
Don't forget to stay hydrated.
And of course, you at home, do take your water.
So the ultimate test is actually you check your urine. Your urine should be clear.
Clear like the water?
Yes. Should be able to see the other side of the urine. If your urine is colored or has changed color, you cannot see the other side, then you have not taken enough water.
Don't forget, regular health checkups. Early detection saves lives.
I want the message be, we can prevent cervical cancer. We prevent cervical cancer in several ways. You have young girls and even somebody who's above that age, you can pay at least every 3 years. Somebody should have a pap smear done.
If you are 40, 45, 50, going upwards, once a year, please go see a doctor. Yeah, it's just for normal routine maintenance.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in? I was number 2. What position were you? Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips and the other one
very much committed that I will make sure that everything here in Baringo will run smoothly and it will be successful.
But I really love my county, I really love my motherland and my nation. My theme, my campaign theme is Raia Aamue.
I'm not so popular in Baringo, but I'm sure there are a lot of people who know me, but only that I've never shown myself. But I believe I am the right candidate with the right people around me. I know my party is prepared to be on this ground as soon as possible.
Right. Those are just some of the candidates vying in Baringo. They presented their nomination papers yesterday. Meanwhile, it would appear that there was a big meeting happening behind the scenes with the president, summoning or holding a meeting with the former senator of Baringo, that's Gideon Moi, who's also bidding for the same. And the president, according to this paper, was trying to get Gideon Moi to drop his bid. That just shows the level of seriousness and how the president is taking this seat. We saw what he did with the candidate for DCP, Banisa, that he invited him to State House, and within a short time, that candidate had withdrawn his candidature. This is the approach that the president is taking. UDA, according to him, has to win a majority of these seats. What if it doesn't go the president's way, Banasosio?
If you see the demeanor of the president and the decisions he's making, is more of national unity than anything else. When he engaged Raila Odinga, the ODM leader, people brushed it off. But we've seen it has grown into a very thorough and effective political machine of broad-based government. And so engaging Gideon Moi is a progressive decision in politics. I am not privy to the details of the discussions, but I know those engagements will eventually bear fruits of uniting the people.
Do you agree with the analysis by Dr. Mbaye?
I'll get back to
when he was deputy president, the success of UDA before he became president really mattered.
Let me come to that.
Yeah.
The president is now the leader of the broad-based political team. And let me demystify what Mbaye is trying to talk loudly here. And you can see they're fighting. And they're both in the same camp. That shows how disorganized they are. They're so disorganized about Malava. Malava is already agreed on a UDA ticket within the broad-based arrangement. And that, you know, it brings together the former ANC, and that seat was held by ANC. It brings together the ODM and the original UDA. And that is a very serious mission for broad-based. And I can tell you
about that, the Senate,
allow me,
the UDA senators campaigning for their candidate.
Allow me, it doesn't matter. That's the democratic right of Halwale. Halwale can do whatever he wants. That is his own drama. It doesn't change anything. Malava's seat, for all intents and purposes, and I dare you invite us on 28th with Mbaye, so that we can confirm the results. It will go to UDA. That won't take it to the bank.
Malava?
Yes. Mbere North seat will go to UDA. That's a fact. We'll be here on 28th. I've been to Mbere myself. And I've read the mood of the people. I've been partly campaigning in Mbere for UDA. Panisa seat will go to broad-based. Magarini will go to broad-based. And we are taking seriously, even Kasipul seat, it should go to broad-based. And the Ugenya. Baringo, it will still go to broad-based. That, of course, is a seat within the backyard of the president. And, of course, UDA already has a candidate nominated. And these other engagements, whether it's related to the seat of Baringo or post-election, there is, regardless of the outcomes of Baringo, whether it goes to, if Gideon presents these papers and is still elected, he will still be broad-based. So at the end of this election, let me tell my friends here, you know, when you drive politics rooted in hatred, it does not land anywhere to germinate. But when you drive politics, that opens up avenues for unity. It is a good thing. Okay. And that is why the broad-based is going to back all the major Senate and parliamentary seats.
Okay, Dr. Mbaye,
and that's a fact.
The president is going the extra mile, and you can actually tell that he's going the extra mile to ensure that at least UDA comes out of the 23 contests, that at least the numbers, without caring whether it's MCA or Senate or a member of the National Assembly, that his numbers or the numbers for UDA are higher than any other party. DCP appears to be struggling on this. You gave up Mbere North. You're already getting contestation with the Malava. For a new party, it will definitely be also a show of the strength of that party if at all you get good numbers. Are you confident, just like Bwana Sosion is, about the UDA's success?
We are not in a hurry. The fact that we are a new party, we are not in a hurry. What we know is that we have also to work with others. Okay? We don't want to come and say we are the only ones. We have also to do the spirit of much as we want our party to go very far and very fast. We also have to look at the spirit of the official party, because our issue is not about DCP. It's about the bigger goal, about the issue of the one term. But I want to say this. Let me start with the issue of Banisa quickly. Fred, we have no interest with the people who can be bought. We are happy for them to go. Because where we are going in 2027, we know money will be splashed. Like it happened from 1982. This is a replica. It's money, buying off, Ugari in State House. Remember those issues of Sikuku and all that? We are so keen. We want people who are very focused and you can see through them the kind of loyalty and passion for the one-term movement in DCP and official opposition. So anybody who comes and they can be bought, we are saying, please go. So that's number one. And we are going to see serious vetting of our candidates, because we don't want to give somebody a ticket. Then he's bought, okay? Either before the elections or even after. So we are going to have a very serious test of loyalty. So, but let me say this. Barry North in the morning, I like what Sosion says, when he goes and he read the mood. He said he read the crowd. He read the mood, I think. What is the mood? You see, when the Mount Kenya people or any other person for that matter in Kenya is receiving money, he must show some teeth. If he saw the teeth and the smiles for people receiving money, that is what deceived him. But Kipipiri was there, and he's a student of politics. So I can tell you that all the money they can take, and it's money that, of course, have been taken from the capitation, the lecturer studying, that's why there's no money. All the money has been turned. By the way, it's in the budget. The budget was turned, 300 billion was removed for development, taken to what I call recurrent budget. Now, for people to understand, recurrent is where you don't need a lot of trouble to get it out. Mm-hmm. You put money in hospitality, traveling, per diems and all that. That's the money that's being given out. So, very now we are confident. Magarini is a sure bet. Now, there's something I want you to understand. The issue here, Fred, the kind of things that made people feel that President Ruto, then the deputy, was betrayed, and so he had a lot of favor, and he played victim. You remember? Stopped from flying to Uganda. His house was locked in Mombasa. He felt, the GSU were removed, put AP at Karen. He milked the sympathy. So that time, the people walked with him because they thought, this guy is so sharp and brilliant. He's being, he's causing fear the other side. That's why he's being attacked. Now, this time, Kenyans across the country are united because he was given the opportunity and he has literally, made the country to lose a lot of opportunity for greatness. So people are united against him. And you're going to see that. So Bere, we are going to take it up. Banisa, we are not sure because money prayed hard. Magarini, we have a very strong candidate backed by the official opposition, and you know where that place is. We have Pulko MCA in Kajiado. We are going to take it at DCP. Nalok Town Ward, already we are set and we have agreed, and DCP is the leading candidate. We have 2 or 3 by-elections in Nyamira and Kisii. Okay? Official opposition is going to take that. The official opposition is going to take Marava. There is Kisa East Ward, still in Kakamega. And then there's some in Bongoma, of course, DAPK is ahead there. Then let me tell you what will happen. 2 MCAs have resigned to vie for Bere North. 2 MCAs have resigned. We are going back there. We are also going to win those seats again as official position. Let me put it at that. Now, 1 MCA has resigned to vie for Marava. We are going back there. And then we are saying, if we will not be comfortable, if whatever we will have done, we need another push for next year. There are people who are very mad. They have come to the party and they have said, sitting with a UDA ticket in Mount Kenya. They have said we are going to resign because they don't feel comfortable. They wake up in the morning, they still imagine they are in UDA. They want to jump out. They are going to resign. We are going to have more by-elections next year because we must give to this gentleman what we did to him. The people who know how to make, they know how to undo. Okay. So we'll give it dose by dose. I can tell you next year, watch this space. Mm-hmm. We are going to have more and more by-elections. There are senators, MPs who are going to be sitting on DCP in this National Assembly and Senate by the end of next year.
But not in this by-elections. This one.
No. On this one, we want to go by what we have. We have another 3 or 4 out of the people who have resigned here. We go that way, okay, and make sure finally, because there are people who feel we have to give it. We have to give the right dose.
All right. What about for DAP Kenya in Western Kenya? Because with the exit of ANC and Fort Kenya still struggling. somewhat. This is the best opportunity to show for that party to show its muscle in the larger Western Kenya. If by any chance they lose the race in Malava, that will be a dent in as far as perceptions are concerned. Are you concerned from an analysis perspective that that is a contest that probably they would have been more careful about?
No, it's a big contest. In fact, like we would say, it's a do or die matter for DAPK. And you know, that election is going to determine our relationship with DCP and other parties. The reason being, when you are partners, when you're in the same coalition, you need to be partners, but not competitors. But you see, now DCP wants to turn this coalition into competitors. Because like what we are saying is that if it goes to Mbere, we need to come in and support the candidate from Mbere. And I expect them when it comes to Western, they need also to come in and support a candidate for DAP. But we see now when it comes to Western, we become competitors. We become throwing jabs at each other. It's not good for the DAP. Two, after this election is going to determine the relationship between the Luhya nation and DCP. Are we going to treat them as a partner or are we going to treat them as competitors? Because now they want to turn it into competition, because it's going to be a competition between DCP, DAP, and UDA. Are you seeing that? I expect it to be a competition between UDA and DAPK. But I can tell you one thing. This election is going to unite Luhya nation. And I can tell you from next week.
And that's a concern because even away from DCP and matters of a united opposition, just within Western Kenya alone, DAPK, if they were to lose this seat, that is a dent on its image across the Western.
And that's why from next week, you'll see Eugene will be there campaigning. Natembe will be there campaigning for the candidate. Halwal will be there campaigning for the candidate. And other Luhya leaders, irrespective of their political affiliation, they'll all be uniting under one roof, DAPK, to make sure DAPK takes that seat. That's what we are going to do.
All right.
And I can assure you for one thing, we are looking at a bigger picture, Luhya unity. It's not about Malava by-election, it's about Luhya unity. After that, we're going to sit down and look at ourselves as a nation. Where are we heading to? Okay. Why are we having these divisions? Why is it that we are the second largest population in Kenya, yet we have never been able to hold any seat? But my brother, who are very few in this country, like Sosiore, they have been able to hold this seat for very, very many years. Those are issues that we are now discussing as the Luhya nation. And I can tell you, after Malava by-election, we are going to see a united Luhya nation where we're going to move with one voice, so that we're able also to have this position.
All right. Yeah. There were doubts on whether the president would use UDA as a vehicle for his re-election come 2027. Do you think that his approach to this by-election is now giving a clear indication that, yes, he'll stick with UDA?
The president will stick to UDA to the end until he retires as president of the republic. But I would like to teach my brother here some lessons about Kenyan politics, how to succeed. If you go and discuss Kenyan politics in the village, that's a sure way of losing. And we have never seen president going to discuss politics within Kalenjin villages. He doesn't do that, and he won't, because the national unity that was born, the foundation that was given to us by our forefathers at independence, is what must guide the country. And those trying to get to ethnic villages to think ethnically in that village first will head nowhere. The Luhya nation are already fully in broad-based government in the biggest way ever. And trying to imagine that you are uniting the Luhyas again, who are already united and who are in government, is a total paradox. So,
but the UDA support in Western Kenya is already fragmented. I just mentioned that the senator, your senator in Kakamega is the one campaigning for the DP.
Those are just imaginations, and that is a person deciding. Decision of one person is not decision of the majority. The thing is, Malava constituency, and for avoidance of doubt, even if you take all those leaders who have been listed here, of course they'll be listened to. It's democracy. But the people of Malava, they know too well that they are right at the center and in the heart of broad-based government.
All right.
And when Malulu Njendi died, he died as a leader who was right inside the heart and the center of broad-based government. And nobody is going to take them out of the heart and center of broad-based government. So it's simple. These are simple logics. It's all about national government and there's space in the national government. And there's the people of Malava, not Luya, the people of Malava. They are right at the center. So when you bring in Luyanization, Kalenjinization, Luanization, I think that's a narrative of once upon a time. Right. Where we are now is about what is our space within the table of Kenya, all of us.
Very interesting times
and
ahead.
if indeed, Malava people have been at the center of government, it is going to be a Herculean task for them to think of trying to remove them from where they are. We know the people of Malava will insist on remaining within the space of government. Yes. And I dare my colleagues here, and I dare you, invite us on 28 for a review
have a date
of the outcome of the election, because national unity is going to win in this election. And that national unity is being driven by the broad-based leadership who are more of statesmen than ethnic mongers around Bai and around my brother here.
Let me talk quickly, just for that second. What I feel so sad for the president, extremely sad. He says he has been in politics for 30 years. The kind of miscalculations he's making, even Nazo in position, we feel sorry for him. He goes and kills the ANC. Instead of at least making ANC his arm in Western, he kills it. Now, Ijedi vied on ANC. It's no longer there. At least to go and reclaim and say, guys, in Kakamega, ANC, can we get somebody else back? It's dead. So he gives way now to other parties to come. And definitely, Western people have never been lovers of government. They've never voted since 2002. They have always been in opposition. So it's immediately, the 10 ODM MPs, I think 10 out of 11, in Kakamega. I can tell you today, why you see Boni Harware there, jumping out from UDA, is because it will no longer be felt. So UDA is out of Kakamega, is out of Western. And ODM is out of Western. So out of, I don't know who advises him, he kills a party which he could at least say, this is my appendage, this is my whatever so as we speak today, the issue of broad-based in Western is dead. 90% gone completely. And that's why you see what is happening. So I don't know who advises him about this kind of politics, because it's over. Now look at the Magarini, the mess. This is a guy who encouraged the UDA candidate to go to court all along. Until the last minute, ODM comes and says, we demand you drop your candidate for ODM. Now, everybody else from that guy who was number 2, he lost with 21 votes. The issue of Kalonzo, the Kamba Nation, all the official opposition, we are going to rally around Magarini. The political miscalculations. But I can tell you, when God decides your time is over, he makes you make very unsound decisions.
Okay, the last question on this one.
I'm sorry, Fred, you ask a question whether President Ruto is likely to vie because he wants to revive UDA. I can tell you anything is possible. I don't see President Ruto vying on UDA. He may as well vie on ODM.
All right. Talking about ODM, and probably because of the kind of the number of MPs it has within Kakamega, and even Vihiga probably. At some point, I think even the governor was an ODM governor. Don't you think that them withdrawing from the race in Malava in favor of UDA is also very telling, given the kind of muscle ODM had in Western Kenya?
You see, the reason why it had to withdraw because there is no support for ODM on the ground. The reason being, when people voted for ODM, they had a lot of faith in ODM, and they knew ODM was going to do ABC. But after that signing of the broad-based government, there's no development that has been taken to Western Kenya. But you see, people have been benefiting, people from Nyanza. Look at all the projects that have been launched in Nyanza. No single project has been launched in Western Kenya. That's why nobody would want to be associated with ODM. That's why they did not even have a candidate. Because if today you go mention about ODM, they'll tell you ODM has been using Western Kenya as a stepping stone to benefit Nyanza region. That's a very big issue that is being discussed here. We're saying, look, for the last, I think we've been giving Raila Amolo our votes, but what has he ever been able to do for Western Kenya? Go to Nyanza. Ruto has been in Nyanza so many times. What has he been doing? Launching projects. But whenever they come to Western Kenya, either church service or celebrating. There's no development thing that has been done. In fact, the only factory that was in Western Kenya that was surviving was Nzoia Sugar Company. It has been sold. And even more than 5,000 people have lost employment. Now people are asking, what have we benefited from this government? From the handshake from Raila. What has he ever done for our Nyanza people, for our Western people? Nothing. That's why you are seeing 2027, ODM will have it hard time. That's why we are having a lot of realignment in Western Kenya. Now, those people in ODM, they are looking for a home. And we are saying DAP is a home for them.
All right. Wow, a lot of decisions to be made ahead of the November 27th by-elections, and I think these are going to be very consequential for most of the political parties. We can see the kind of debate already here. The unity of the united opposition already under threat. President William Ruto going the extra mile also to try and get other candidates to step down in favor of the UDA candidates. What will happen? We'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, candidates continue giving and presenting their nomination papers to the IEBC ahead of the official campaigns for the by-elections. I want us to move to an analysis that is here on at least on the front page of the Standard, and this is about one of the candidates in the united opposition. The story is on page 8. It talks about Kalonzo Musyoka, underrated power broker who could decide 2027 presidency. Bwana Sosion, do you agree that yes, Kalonzo Musyoka is one of those candidates that everyone now wants on their side? We've had members of your broad-based arrangement making overtures towards Kalonzo Musyoka and asking him to join that side. He has admitted on more than one occasion that yes, quite a number of people have approached him to cross over and join that side. How consequential is he this time round?
Kalonzo Musyoka is my good friend, and I hosted him in my village home school in 2007 when he was aspiring to be president. He has been my friend even as vice president. But I think his biggest miscalculation is not to read the signs of the country and of the times very well. And the Ukambani people are getting restless and tired with the forced exclusion of the people of Ukambani out of the mainstream government, particularly the broad-based structure. Broad-based structure is here to stay. It will get stronger. It will get broader. And so if Kalonzo remains within the corner and the range of the politics he's playing, he will continue consigning his supporters to a corner that is not, that they will suffer exclusion. They will exclude themselves for the longest time, and that is not right. So I think he's an experienced politician, and I'm sure he must be doing very empirical and scientific analysis. And I think it is time he shifts gears and play. Listening
to you, you're almost dismissing his impact in politics.
He's my friend, and I sympathize with him. But I want him to play.
Then why the overtures? Then why the overtures for him to move to your side?
I'm not aware whether anybody has made overtures because I don't sit at the rank and files of the party.
But you're saying for him to be consequential politically, he has to move to the broad-based arrangement.
I don't. Yes, his broad-based arrangement is open to me, and I think the best home for Kalonzo is to play within the broad-based arrangement in a positive way. Let's be positive. What is broad-based? Broad-based is a structure that is fighting exclusion in this country, and broad-based is a structure that is open to all communities. And the president has been very clear not to play politics of exclusion of regions and people because of political beliefs. But it would even be better when the leadership of those communities engage positively and meaningfully. And that's why when you see the president sitting with Gideon Moi, of course, the president has full control of Baringo, support total. But then still, it makes sense to engage a leader of the person of Gideon Moi for purposes of broadening and strengthening unity. So to me, Kalonzo is a brilliant, honest person, but the politics that he has played over time for the last few years, he should reconsider, recalibrate, change tack, change route. And when you see Raila Odinga walking into broad-based government and he has signed a 10-point memoranda and he is able to engender his manifesto, his vision within the same arrangement, it is possible for Kalonzo to
let's
bring
focus
his
on
own
Kalonzo.
vision into a broad-based
What makes
structure.
him, Dr. Mbai, what makes Kalonzo Musyoka such a darling for both sides of the political divide this time around? Initially, and a few years back, many people had dismissed him as being indecisive. This time around, you can see even the president himself has on more than one occasion said that Kalonzo should join him. We've seen even your party leader, the only candidate within the united opposition that he has actually come out and said we are ready to support is Kalonzo Musyoka. He verbalized it. Why is he such a darling this time around?
I'll tell you, Fred. One is because the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka has become of age. He has matured. Kalonzo Musyoka is one man where Kibaki was in 2002, whereby you have seen everything. You have gone through the entire cycle, you know. You have been to everything. You have been turned around. Remember the frustration Kibaki went through. You know, we know his father was killed under very suspicious circumstances by the state then. He was humiliated, removed. Then he went on to opposition for a whole 10 years. Lost elections under very dubious circumstances. Finally, by 2002, Kibaki had seen it all. And he was the most refined politician in Kenya. So look at this now. Kalonzo has gone through, humiliated by ODM, literally made to go for interviews, like a novice. You know, he was dethroned from the DP position. Here he is, and let me tell you why everybody's looking for Kalonzo. It's because Kalonzo commands some 2.5 to 3 million block of votes every time. But let me tell you why it is interesting. In Mount Kenya, leaders follow the people. The people decide what to do. As a leader, you must align and follow them. Otherwise, you'll be left alone. But for Kalonzo, he is the one who tells people where to go. Kalonzo is the one who decides, if I go this direction, whichever it is, people will follow him. That's very interesting, by the way. So why Kalonzo is very key, somehow, wherever he is convinced to go, he just tells the people, we go this direction. That is why it is unique. But there's something I don't like. Fred, if I approach you and you refuse to follow me for some reason, should I go badmouth you? That is bad manners. Number one, we know long before Musalia Mudavadi and Wetangula were asked, came into support the President Ruto, then before the elections, they had looked for Kalonzo. He refused. After this government was formed, the first person they looked for, long before they looked for Raila Odinga, was Kalonzo. He refused. So Kalonzo this time around, I think after the 2022 elections, he has been very keen. He has refused all the overtures of being bought by the president. I mean, Wavinya Deti said the other day, he has placed money. But immediately he refuses, the president goes on calling him Wajinga. You remember the way he said, called him Wajinga because of this vaccination thing? And by the way, so I don't divert a lot. Fred is a president. You know, if you go to church, you are given an opportunity, you are calling everybody Wajinga fools. It's also not very good. It's not very presidential anyway. But my point is, Kalonzo, he has come of age. He is very instrumental. And Kalonzo has this time around refused all the overtures of being bought because he knows this is his time. He can very easily become president. So the question is, if I have a chance of becoming president under official position, he's one of the front runners, right? Why should I go become number 2 or even number 3? In any case, Fred, if Kalonzo would join the president today, what surety is he that he's going to become number 2? Looking at the frustration he went through the last time. Look here, ODM wants the DP position. They're already talking about Wanga or somebody else. Now, the president is already dangling the DP position to Musalia Mudavadi to split so that the Western doesn't go to, the Western Bloc doesn't go to opposition. So what we are saying is, even if Kalonzo was to come to government, there is no surety that he is going to become the deputy president. Yet he has a chance of becoming the front runner in the official position. He can do mathematics. Why run from where you have a chance of becoming president to where you have a chance of going to number 3? Maybe they would go there and put him as a cabinet secretary. Look at that. So he also has some brains, surely. Let us not always think, and this is a problem Raila Odinga, unfortunately, the Honorable Raila Odinga and the presidents are making. To assume that Kalonzo is that simple guy who can be swayed by money every day. People mature and become of age. What are we doing as a DCP? Is to encourage Kalonzo Musyoka. That look here, you have been humiliated before. Kamba people have been left out for many years. And please, Kenyans, don't come and tell us, oh, Kalonzo has no charisma, you know, he has no money. How much money did Kibaki have when he became president? How much charisma did Kibaki have when he became president? This time around, Fred, we don't want this one man who will come and say, I'm a Macmende. You know, I can run the whole country. We want everybody to feel now it's not me. Everybody can become president. Then the people will say, you come stand here for be one of us.
Okay.
Come here and govern this country. The word is govern, not politics all through.
Yes. Bwana Barasa, Kalonzo Musyoka holds the key to State House 2027. Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, I 100% agree. The reason being, politics is about the numbers. And you know very well, Kalonzo is a Kamba kingpin. He has about 2-point-something votes. And you know, like UDA has lost Mount Kenya votes. Now, what they're trying to do is that they're saying if they bring in the Kamba votes, they may replace part of what they have lost. They bring in the Luya votes, then they would have gotten what they would have lost. I agree. But now, if they lose Kalonzo, and then the opposition takes part of the Nyanza Western vote, then it means going to put UDA in a precarious position, because one thing, they don't trust Raila. They know that Raila may also stand in 2027, vie for the president in 2027. Now, if Raila is going to vie for president 2027, he's going to lock Nyanza. So UDA may not expect anything from Nyanza if Raila is going to vie. Now what happens? We have Eastern, Central, and Central already has been locked out because of the difference with Gachagua. Now what remains? Western and Eastern. And they know very well, once you have the Kalonzo, then you have the Eastern is the Eastern kingpin. So that's the reason why everyone is trying to do that, because of the numbers, nothing else.
All right.
If he didn't have the numbers, nobody would bother. But people are following Kalonzo because he has the numbers and they people have confidence in him. That's why you see by 2027, we are going to have so many realignments. We cannot even rule out Kalonzo moving away from opposition. Neither can we rule out people in the government moving away to the opposition. By 2027, you're going to have so many realignments.
Yes, but as things stand right now, do you think that Kalonzo stands the best chance to be the presidential candidate for the United Opposition, if at all they manage to stick together till then?
The best chance, he stands up the best chance. The reason being, you know, he has been this thing for very long too. He's not an extremist. He's a moderate. And I think people are looking for someone who is a moderate. Yeah, they're saying others are extremists. When they move in, they may be able to do APC. So they want someone who can be able to unite the entire nation. And you know, if you look at Kalonzo, he stands a better chance because I don't think he antagonizes people. I don't think he has been able to fight people. So he stands a better chance, one, because he can be able to unite the nation.
All right. With the dynamics in the broad-based arrangement, Kalonzo Musyoka not joining a broad-based arrangement, that would spell trouble for the president, don't you think?
Oh, no, never. You know, this is a country of democracy. You choose what you want. You choose to vie for the presidency. That's your right. And then your fate is determined by the voters of Kenya. And if I may ask, between Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka, who has more followers? Definitely Raila has a strong support base in the country. And
he's enjoyed a lot of that support from Mukambani region as well.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And so Kalonzo Musyoka has been working in the shadow of Raila Odinga's base. Now that base is gone. It is in broad-based.
Kalonzo's base is gone?
It's gone. No, Raila's base is gone. It's shifted to
including Ukambani.
Of course, that was part of the divided. Ukambani is divided. We saw some MPs shifting even yesterday.
But that's support.
And by the way, UDA has got 2 parliamentary seats in Ukambani. That's a fact. And if UDA can garner 2 seats in Ukambani, what does that tell you about Kalonzo? So these are fundamental, empirical, political facts. And going into 2027, of course, this disjointed team think for them to gain credibility for now, they should sell Kalonzo as a face, a moderate face and whatnot, but with no numbers. There are no numbers.
If he had no numbers, why would the president be keen to lure him to his side?
Politics is about numbers, and the numbers are working. The broad-based have the numbers.
If he had no numbers, if he has no numbers, why would the president need to even talk about Kalonzo Musyoka? He did that when he became president. He has done it again.
I've told you the demeanor of the president. He will talk to everyone for purposes of unity, regardless of numbers. When you are engaging people, you don't despise people because they don't have numbers or they have numbers. You engage people because they are useful to the discourse of the country. And everybody is useful. And engaging everybody is a useful thing to do. It is the best game to play in politics. There is no enemy in this country. All of us are citizens, whether it's Kalonzo and who in the opposition. But of course, when you talk of the numbers in 2027, somebody will be cheating Kalonzo that he will win. Even if he garners more than 30%, it will be the biggest miracle in the world. The reality of Kenyan politics now is that you must engage in meaningful, structured coalitions that speak to nationalism of the country, but not hatred, philosophies of hatred against individuals, against ethnic groups. No, where we are, the philosophy of Kenya, and Kenyans are buying it, is that now we want political structures that does not speak to exclusion. Political structures that are above ethnicity. And by the way, you are underrating Mount Kenya. The people of Mount Kenya are completely miles and kilometers away from these ethnic games. And they know the people of Mount Kenya are the greatest stakeholders of broad-based government. And nothing much is going to change in 2027. If they find them, they will find themselves at home within broad-based. No, except a few bitter individuals like
them to
like
respond
Dr. Mbaye and Wamunyora and others, and they're free to play those games.
Said a lot of
the games that we have here, the politics, the brand of politics that the president is playing is that of total inclusion of all communities in Kenya and all leaders who can engage.
Yes.
Those who don't want to are free to play their game.
Fred, two things. Number one, let me give you first for a summary. Where we are today, Kenyans give 70 to 75% of non-approval of Ruto at 3. Now, let me give you some quick analysis. I've done analysis of politics since 1982. So what will happen? By next year, August, the disapproval of the president will be about 80%. That's next year, August.
That's a wish.
I'm just saying. I mean, by August 2027, it will be hitting 90, around 90. To give it fair, let me not go beyond 90. 90 disapproval. Now, that's a summary. Now, let's go back quickly. ODM. Why ODM is bitter? On two things. They know the Azimio issue has broken down as like a house of cards. Finished. There's no Azimio, there's no Western, there's no Kisii, there's no Kamba, right? Very little bits of Northeastern, a bit, and Luo Nyanza. Minus, Azimio minus Western, Kisii, Masai, half of them, like 70% gone, Northeastern. Coast, Mijikenda, we already have Gichopevu, we already have Makwere. Mijikenda is official position. I can tell you that today. I can confirm that. Now listen, ODM is bitter because they have been pushed to Luo Nyanza, the 4 counties. If you looked at the recent survey, 70%, it was there, Nyanza, 70% disapprove the broad-based government, 70. So this is what will happen. If Laida decides to vie, if Laida decides to support Ruto, the turnout when he was vying for president in 2022 was 66%. The turnout will be about 25 to 30. That one I can tell you today, if he decides to support Ruto. Now, because Gen Zs, millennials, and many people who are not benefiting from this top cream, these juices and honey that's being taken here, just a few guys, okay? Now, if he decides to vie anyway, because, again, I can tell you what I see about Laida. Laida he doesn't like so many things. He becomes a candidate so that he can be able to get hold of the nominations for governor, MPs, senators, that team there. Okay, he may decide to fight that, but it will not be a loss to us. It will be a loss to them anyway. But they are bitter because they lost that grip from across the country. They are losing many people, 10 ODM MPs from Western, gone and gone. But look at this. This is what surprises me. Even if they are unhappy, why throw it at us? Look at the issue of ODM, the party leader getting unwell, Fred. Who wished Raila Odinga to be dead? Let's talk because it's been the news. Did you hear anywhere Gachagua say anything about that? Who started the story? ODM did a story blaming the Honorable Raila Gachagua and Kalonzo Musyoka for spreading some falsehood. From who, by who? We followed this story. We saw funeral homes surrounded, and people are speculating. A statement comes through in Rigathi Gachagua. Then they go to Kambani. And what Gachagua said, if you have that clip, he said, we wish him well. But you can't come and put us in your stories about ill health. And he said, Kalonzo is not a virus. I think a bacteria or a protozoa or something like that, right? Then that ended there. Now, yesterday, instead of ODM concentrating on their problems of Ruo Nyanza, one speak after the other. You know, I watched that clip and I was like, what is happening here? Please, if people are now hallucinating, they have no idea about 2027. They don't know whether to feel the candidate or not, Fred. They are now hallucinating about Gachagua and Kalonzo, about other things. How do you spend a whole meeting called DM at 20 to talk about Gachagua, who had not talking about Laida being ill or whatever? You drag his name, he go clarifies in Ukambani, but you still have the time for 2 hours to discuss about Gachagua. Please, I want to tell ODM, you made your choices. We don't need you in the official position, by the way. We don't need ODM. We don't need the partnership of Raila Odinga. Let Wanga and Joho, because they are still playing the two politics of we are in government, we are out of government. I can tell you whatever happens, Fred, ODM is on its own. They are going to stick with this government and they are going to go home together. All right. That's the truth of the matter. So this moving here and there and all that. Now, on Mount Kenya, you have heard something. The last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, when the president was meeting Muranga people, for the first time, he began saying, Murima, Mount Kenya is what killed tribalism in Kenya. Hey, it is coming home slowly. But by the time he was impeaching Rigathi Gachagua, everybody in Mount Kenya was a tribalist. Rigathi Gachagua was a tribalist. But now, that narrative of tribalism never failed, never kicked. It failed on its face. He's now knowing, if I come playing this tribal card on Mount Kenya, it's going to work against me. Slowly he's coming to begin to say, you know, Mount Kenya is what killed tribalism. Because by the time the Mount Kenya was voting President Ruto, he was not a Kikuyu. He was from another community. Now, the second person I've heard talk about him is Sosyon here. Oh, you know, Mount Kenya here. You know, it's very non-tribal. Hold on, you have not seen anything yet. When Mount Kenya make a decision, Mount Kenya decided to vote in Ruto on 9th of March during the handshake between Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. I can tell you this friend seated here. The day Rigathi Gachagua went home, that is the day Mount Kenya decided Ruto is one term. And nothing will change that. By the way, we are waiting for the days.
Talking about one term, that's the biggest headline on the front page of the People Daily today. They talk about the one-term wave and Ruto's growing fear, but now they put it in context in Africa. An unmistakable single-term wind of change is reshaping presidential politics across the continent. Voters are ejecting incumbents faster than ever, signaling fatigue and populist promises that collapse under the corruption, economic distress, and rising cost of living. I know that is a chant from the United Opposition, but is it a real fear, given the kind of trends we are seeing? And do you believe it is a trend? And do you believe that this time round, President William Ruto should really be concerned? No single president in Kenya has served for only one term.
If you look at it, it's one of the biggest fear for the presidency. It's one of the biggest fear for my friend who's sitting on my left. He knows he may be a one-term president. The reason being, if you look at the history of Kenya, we've had presidents. Even Kibaki, by this time he was very popular. When he moved in, he was not very. By this time he was getting popular. Look at Uhuru Kenyatta. When he was voted in for he was not very popular. But by the time he was getting to the second term, he was popular. But why are we having this problem in Kenya right now, whereby everywhere we have this one-term chant? The reason being is that, you see, when the president came in, he promised a lot. People had a lot of faith in him. But unfortunately, he's not been able to deliver what has happened. That's why you see when a common mwananchi is not happy about it. The cost of living has gone up. Look at SHA. Look at the university. All around, things are not working the way he had promised. That's why you're going to have, that's why it will be very, very difficult for him to sell in 2027. The reason being, when he was moving around, he had assured Mamboga that they are going to change, their life is going to change. He had assured the university that everything is going to work, but now these things are working. So what is going to happen? Now, for the next 2 years, we'll determine whether it's going to be the one term or not. Because if he's able to deliver, and now a common man will be able to change his mind. But if he's not able, if this trend is going to continue, if the economic meltdown is going to continue, then it means it's going to be a one-term. Nobody should lie to you that people are always informed. Sometime back, people are not, but with the current generation, whatever happens, people are able to read. They're able to see what is happening in Mombasa. They're able to see what is happening all over the country. So it's going to be a very, very hard task for him to convince Kenyans that kindly give me the second term, unless for the next 2 months, he delivers. But if this trend can continue, then it's going to be a one-term.
All right. Do you think the President Ruto is disadvantaged by this? We're seeing countries like Botswana, Ghana, Zambia, Malawi, the latest, all this following that same trend. Do you
president
think
is not
he's a bit unlucky that he came at this time round?
The president is not disadvantaged whatsoever. And listening to my brother here, trying to paint doom and give a false prediction that the president will be one term is a wrong thing. It's not in touch with the mood, the palpable mood of the country. Kenyans will chide the president fairly. Inheriting a difficult economy and recalibrating it to manageable levels is no mean achievement. One, getting the country out of the debt distress. He has done it very well. Otherwise, the country could have sunk like those other nations you are talking about. And that has given the economy of the country reasonable growth, and data is there to prove it. Bringing down inflation from 9% to 4%. At least Kenyans could have been worse off if this was not done. Further measures of calibrating and controlling the macroeconomic issues, stabilization of the dollar against the shilling, and we can go on and on, including removing the wrong subsidies on fuel and wrong subsidies on unga in the shops and subsidizing farmers. Now we have surpluses in terms of food. The president has worked harder than anyone could have done. And the parameters of macroeconomic indicators of a stable economy are already being felt. Maybe the next level, the next trigger will be the microeconomic issues that is going to send positive feelings to the people of Kenya. So it is a process.
Don't you think that is the biggest disadvantage that he overpromised?
By all...
He has admitted that he was ambitious in his promise.
By all means. Of course, what he promised, if you look at the pillars, if you were to analyze the pillars, has he done well in agriculture? Extremely well. Give him a score. Has he done very well in health? The health sector, UHC, that many people feared in the past. Moi could not, Kibaki could not, Uhuru could not, but he has broken the ceiling. And we can see the progress of the rollout and entrenchment of UHC.
Are we going to ignore the kind of challenges that
Has he done something on housing? Housing that Jomo Kenyatta feared in 1967. There was an act, even after implementation of NSSF and NHIF, which were part of the offshoot of the sessional paper of number 10 of 1965 of Tom Mboya. And it is in 2025 that President Ruto has been very bold. There are 170 sites of constructions across the country. So there are measurable indicators of serious traction of what the president promised. And that is what Kenyans, the president will be evaluated to the extent, or on the basis of the extent of the implementation of what he promised.
All right.
And by the way, Kenyans will be very fair to allow him to do his last term and extend the projects to be felt more meaningfully across the country. So fact is, and let me tell you about the mood of the voters of Kenyans. They are very fair in evaluation and in judgment. Very fair.
Okay.
And give it to Kenyans.
Do you think it's to the advantage of the united opposition that there's a trend of removing incumbents from office after their first term? Do you think it's to the advantage? Do you think in Kenya it will work that way?
Let me tell you, this issue that African presidents must serve more than one term is a fallacy. And what pains me and what I feel sorry for is that people who advise the president keep on telling him that you cannot lose elections, including the minister, the CS in charge of foreign affairs. It is so sad that the only thing they can do to sustain and show that, the praise singers, to tell them now you cannot lose. And this is a policy guy, somebody who sits in cabinet. That is the thinking. And the people, of course, like my good friend Sosion, who, of course, a lot of times goes to State House to advise the president and all that.
I don't go to
So it's
do you have evidence?
It's sad that...
Do you have evidence that I visit State House?
Fred, if this is the advice, one thing, I feel sorry for him because the president, when he was the deputy president, he looked like somebody who listened to people, He'd go to the villages, eat maize, roasted maize and all that. But the moment he got there, he was surrounded by people who tell him what he wants to hear. Now, some of us have some antennae on the ground. We know what happens and the repercussions of actions. I'll tell you this. Kenya is not Uganda. Kenya is not Tanzania or Rwanda. Kenya is unique. And that's why God loves Kenya. That's why the whole world loves Kenya, by the way. There's a way Kenyans do their own things. This little effort of trying to think that someone can come from nowhere, since 1963, you want to change the democracy process and you want to come and galvanize everything and become one big man and borrow a lot of leadings and books and scripts from Uganda and Tanzania. I can tell you this. This one Kenyans will not accept. It's a reality about one term. But most what I find sad even more, why I don't want to, every time we give Sosion an opportunity, he goes again talking about these things that really, they pain Kenyans. He talks about the Shah things. Let me tell you today, if you have to go this week, you are weekly scheduled to go there. Go and tell the president, Kenyans are done with 90% of this government. Done. They don't know. Look here, 5,000 schools have no capitation today. That time is coming to end. They talk about cleaning the ghosts. These ghosts, Fred, do they come from the air? The ghosts were manufactured by the people who have been in this system for the last 14 years as a PS. These ghosts are manufactured, put in the system so that the people who know where the money is going. Before we know who took the money, they are still cleaning ghosts. Where are the ghosts? Ghosts are people you can see. These are people who have been taking the money. People are tired about hearing things about Shah. It's a scam. Okay. Finished. Housing, scam. Hasrafat, gone. This is not a thing. I can tell you today, and please, Fred, I'm talking like me. We have been here long enough to know. Once you don't have a systematic way of doing things, and then you begin doing like this, and that's why some of us are no longer there, because we couldn't attach our integrity and our record for something that cannot make sense. And I can tell you that, and I can say this from the morning to evening. Let me tell you today. I can tell you, Nyota will go the same way as Sasra Fund. Okay. What will happen? People will take the money and run. Because there will be no systematic way of finding out who is that person who qualifies. Okay. People who are associated with the blood-based will go to the villages, pick their own political henchmen. But we are telling Kenyans, unfortunately, if you don't take this money, it will go to somebody else. So go take the money and run. Right. There's no impact.
We only have 3 minutes, so I have 60 seconds, exactly 60 seconds for your parting shot. Let's start with you, Bwana Zakaria.
You see, what I can say is that let the president not say that whoever is not in the broad-based government, or the way my brother is saying that people should be able to join the broad-based government. I think 2010 constitution was very clear. We must have the opposition and the government so that the opposition is able to check on the government. So my plea to the president is that don't kill the opposition. Let the opposition be there, because the work of the opposition is to check the government so that they can be able to correct you when you're not doing the right thing. But if you're going to lump everyone into the opposition, into the broad-based government, nobody will be there to check for you. And Wananchi will now turn into people who are going to start doing those checking or looking at what you are doing. Wananchi are the ones now. That's why you are seeing so many things on social media. They have taken over the role of the opposition, which is not structured. So my plea to the government is, please don't kill the opposition. Let the opposition be there. Let them check on you. But let's work together. Those ones who are not in the broad-based government, let them also get development. Because from the way my friends is talking, that if you are not in broad-based government, you may not be able to get certain development in your area. So let development be across the board.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much.
I really wish he was listening, but let me make one correction. That the Constitution of Kenya 2010 separates powers between executive, National Assembly, and the judiciary. And so the executive does not work on the basis of an opposition or a political party in parliament. Parliament collectively, even if a political party produced a president, but parliament collectively and all parliamentarians oversights the executive. And the executive can restructure itself in whichever manner that it does, like the broad-based. And the policies of the president, if my brother can listen very clearly,
15 seconds.
Is non-exclusion of every region of the country, regardless of the voting. And we saw the president mobilizing development activities in areas that did not vote for him. and that is a president. So nobody's going to be excluded.
Thank you,
we
Bwana
have
Sosion.
seen Mount commissioning
Thank you, Bwana Sosion. And your time is up, Bwana Sosion. Bwana Sosion.
That is a president.
The next 60
So let us have a country where there is total inclusion regardless of politics.
60 seconds, Dr. Mbai.
One, Baraza, I will not sit here to request the president not to kill the opposition. That is what he loves most. That's what he has been doing every time. Kill the opposition, kill Bunge, kill Senate, control judiciary, then he becomes a one man. So what I will ask is that some of us who believe this country can move forward in politics, in judiciary, a few of us who have been left in parliament, let's come together and push for this country. There's no way. He believes in buying everyone money, positions, 2 ambassadors here and all that. Let's hold together the people who cannot be bought. And finally, our presidential candidate is Ruto must go, and our agenda is one term. Anybody who cannot scream one term in a public place, if you get born again, Fred, if you follow Christ today, if you get born again, you must go and see Jesus is Lord every day. Born as if you were. So we want, if you cannot scream one time in public, then your salvation and your move is suspicious.
Thank you so much. Dr. Peter Mbai, Secretary Planning and Economic Affairs, DCP, Zakaria Baraza, political analyst, and Wilson Sosion, a veteran educationist, unionist, and has served in the National Assembly as well. Thank you so much for your time. A quick look at the papers this morning. The one-term wave and Ruto's growing fear. That's the front page of the People Daily. Gazeti la Taifa Leo, mkubwa mkaidi wanazungumzia katibu wa Wizara ya Fedha Chris Kiptoo ambaye anakumbwa na pressure kali kutoka kwa wabunge kukosa vikao vya kamati za bunge. Business Daily, World Bank pushes for higher VAT and excise duty. JKIA cocaine trial, that's the front page of the Standard. And why Kalonzo is a most sought after politician, there on the front page of the Standard as well. On the Daily Nation, Ruto, Gideon in State House talks. Big headline there in as far as politics is concerned. Ladies and gentlemen, this one we may have missed it. This is going to be a big discussion. Treasury data, state borrowed 6 billion shillings per week in 4 months. It translates to about 96 billion shillings in those 4 months. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the state of the nation. My name is Fred Intimuli. Good morning.